Good morning. It is what time? It is 6:35 a.m. on Monday, November 12th, 2018. I'm Christiana Ellis and I just got up. This is 5 more minutes. Feeling a little weird in the tummy today. I think part of that might actually just be that for dinner last night, I had pizza at a local Korean pizza place that I think I just haven't been having as much dairy since I've been here, and I don't know if it was just eating a bunch of cheese that kind of made the difference, and I don't know. I mean, I'm doing okay. It's all relative, but yeah. So I'm not sick. I'm just feeling a little bit of tummy upset right now. That's all. So here's what I'll cover. So because yesterday was Gravity Falls rewatch, I didn't talk about my trip to Beartree Park, which happened on Saturday. And so this was something that one of our Korean host colleagues suggested and took us to go see. And I really didn't know what to expect. I wasn't quite sure what kind of place it was. But as I arrived, I discovered that it is kind of a botanical gardens and a bit of a zoo and kind of nature trail and just beautiful sort of garden scenery. And a lot of it was the type of cultivated garden that I saw in Japan, where it's not that it naturally occurred that way, but that it's beautiful in its constructed nature. And so that had a lot of some of that, and it's also just like botanical gardens. It's all these interesting trees and everything. And so I took a bunch of pictures, and so I actually tweeted out a Flickr link, so you can see a bunch of my pictures from that trip, and it was it was a pretty good trip. Also, the zoo part had a number of different animals, but it was kind of focused around bears, thus the name, and in particular the Manchurian black bear was the highlight species. But they had a lot of bears, and I won't. There were certainly more bears per enclosure than I think we'd probably see in a modern zoo in the United States right now. But I don't. I mean, they didn't seem unhappy that I could tell. I don't feel qualified to judge that one way or another. But it's not like they were like it seemed like they had plenty of room to move around, and they didn't seem unhealthy that I could tell. So, but you could certainly buy little treats to toss down to them, and they were definitely skilled at like learning tricks to beg for treats and so on. And if you tossed stuff to them, they could catch it in their mouths. You could buy little chunks of carrot or these little molded bready things that I'm not sure exactly what they were, because they were obviously in some sort of a mold shape to make them sort of shaped like a walnut, but it was definitely not a walnut. It was kind of bready in texture, and so I'm not really sure what was in it. But hopefully something healthy. But the those you could pay the equivalent of $1 to get a little cup with like 9 or 10 of those things, and then toss them in, and that was pretty neat. They also had animal exhibits of a number of different other animals that were kind of, I think, probably focused mostly on kind of being cute rather than necessarily that exotic. One thing that felt a little weird to me is that they had Welsh corgis. There were two of them, and in a little exhibit, and they were very cute. But I sort of got a little bit emotional about it. Just like they seemed fine, even though I don't know. I feel like I don't know if that they seemed fine, and but you know, a big part of it was that it was just kind of surprising, and also made me think of mine. So anyway, that was a little bit emotional, but lots of other animals too. You know, birds and peacocks and guinea pigs, and they actually had cats as a display as well. So like you know, it wasn't all just you know. In any event, then there was also just all of these botanical gardens and nature trail areas that were actually very beautiful, and I invite you to go look at the pictures. So in the meantime, I will leave it there, and I will talk to you all tomorrow for 5 more minutes.